Welcome, all you handsome people. And speaking of handsome people, look at this guy right here. He's kind of a looker himself. Welcome to late night radio, Friday night, Thursday frontline, whatever this thing is called now. We got a couple things to cover tonight. We are going to do some Gunsmoke fun line tonight. I know, kind of a change from usual. We're also going to cover the teeny tiny bit of news, and we're just going to chill and have a good time. Now, in my part of the world, there is some pretty crazy thunderstorms going on. So if the quality of the stream takes a nosedive, this time it is actually my fault. I guess it's not really my fault, but the internet might be having issues around here because of all the, power lines getting broken and all that. So but we're going to push through it anyway because I scheduled this and I ain't scheduling it a second time. So let me just double check. Yep, everything looks good. I need to get my chat box here. How am I gonna know all the critiques you guys are making of my gameplay if I don't have the chat box up? Here we go. So let's look at my favorite chair, dude. And this is not that chair. That's a different chair in the Elmo. But this is the commander's favorite chair, at least my favorite chair. It looks so comfy, dude. Like, look at that. I'm not a huge fan of this pillow though. Can I zoom in? I guess I can. This pillow here, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. But we can. Oh, you know what? We got to do our weekly gambling. Hold up. Will we be freed? What is Lynn doing? I don't know, man. Lynn just, she just does her own thing. She's trying to be sneaky. I saw her side eyeing me. She tried to pretend like, oh yeah, she's asleep on the couch. Yeah, I saw that. Are we gonna be freed of this curse? Is this the one? It's never the one. No, it's not the one. Oh yeah, here we go. YouTube complaining about the stream settings. See, I edited the stream settings, but now, like I said, now I don't know what's up and what's down because of the storms going on in the area. The internet's been very choppy today. Well, we didn't win our freebie here, so let's talk very quick. This is not going to be a very long episode today, unless you guys want it to be. Unless you guys, just want to chill and hang out. Maybe we could play some Frontline Survivors, right? Who's actually available in this? Do we get? Yeah, what? We don't get any of the fun. Oh my god, what is this? We don't get Leva, we don't get Florence, we don't get Spring. Trash game, dude. Do I have to unlock them somehow? Was there a second menu somewhere? Enhance? No. Yeah, I stand by what I said. Trash game. Trash devs. So the only thing to really cover in the news section for today is... let me see if I can pull it up here. We have our first ever, this has ever happened. This in the GFL verse. No capture. Here it is. This day was bound to happen eventually. We have an end of service announcement for the first time in history for a GFL based game. Moment of silence, please. I'm gonna put some F in the chat here to pay some respects. Fire Control EN, which is kind of a weird name for it, considering I believe this was only available in Southeast Asia. So I don't know why. I mean, I guess English, but still, it's it's a weird way to put it. But yeah, can we get some Fs in the chat for Fire Control? We barely knew you. In fact, almost all of us didn't know you because I'm pretty sure, like I said, this was region locked. So this was that really crappy arena battle shooter. I don't even know what you call it, to be honest, but it was that mobile phone game, which has now been announced. This is all kind of fake because this game got eaten up. So okay, let me start at the beginning. This game was being subcontracted out by some random group of devs for Mika Team. They just licensed the Girls Frontline IP to them. They tried to make a I don't know what whatever you want to call it, arena, like a Marvel Rivals game, but for GFL with gunplay, obviously. And it didn't really go anywhere. They were kind of going back and forth on, was it going to be PvP only, PvE only, whatever. Mika Team liked it enough that they just snatched that whole company up and I guess hired them all. And so as part of that, this game is getting canceled, but it's getting replaced by that one that we called Blue Butterfly Contract, or GFL BBC. Oh, the names. So it's getting replaced by that game, which is going to be more of a. It's the same style, like third person over the shooter. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was a month ago, or whenever they had their anniversary stream. But we talked about it, and this game is getting replaced. But nonetheless, it is the first time a girls frontline game has hit end of service. This has never happened. So it's a sad occasion for everyone in the GFL verse. But we're gonna move on from it because he's not actually dead. It'll be back soon, and I believe when it gets released, it's going to be. I believe it's all regions. Like I said, this one was, I think, limited to Southeast Asia somewhere, maybe Taiwan region or something. But the next one that's gonna come out is gonna have a global release. So that's your fake drama / fake news for the day. I got nothing else. Just pretend it was an open beta for BBC. Yeah, it kind of was. God, my God, this acronym, dude, I'm never going to get it. Oh, I heard that they renamed the game. Of course, I don't know what the rename was. Like, it's not going to be Blue Butterfly Protocol. I hope to God that wasn't just some guy on the internet making that up. I hope to God they actually did change the name. Classic Mika going out of their way to make a questionable decision. Everyone needs a little controversy in life. Speaking of controversy, very quickly, let's talk about. So I kind of left you off last time with the preview for Phelan on CN site. So she's actually released now. I'm sure you guys have, if you cared, you probably looked up videos and whatnot. But I just kind of want to talk about it real quickly because I obviously am very excited for the character, and there is I haven't seen the story segments for it, assuming it doesn't have anything to do with the main story. I'm still going to cope that maybe there's a 1 in a million chance we get it early. Can I get Chongju? Laney? Andrus, can I get an opinion on this? No? They're all just looking at me. They're like, no opinion. I know. I would not say it's outside the realm of possibility we get her early, which is incredibly crazy considering she's cracked as fuck. From what I've seen, I kind of had mentioned this in the previous stream. They just cranked the numbers up to not infinity, but pretty high up there. She's really, really high on a lot of the damage charts I've seen. Even at segment 0 and segment 6 both have been just kind of crushing it as far as damage, which isn't too surprising because that seems to be how they release characters now. But the interesting thing to me about it was that the team building around her isn't as cancerous as I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was really going to heavily rely on the corrosion units, but I've seen people been plopping her in teams that are not corrosion based. As long as you can kind of generate tiles in any way, shape, or form, I think she just needs to generate 3 or 4 tiles, and they don't necessarily have to be corrosion tiles. You can get pretty good use out of her. So I'm excited if we get her early. That would be just bananas, actually. I'm just kind of looking around the Elmo. Everyone's just, just lounging about. Kukai tier supposedly. So in output damage in a pure corrosion team, Pega, I have seen, yes, it is. She's about doing the same as Kukai. The difference is Kukai has 2.5 teammates supporting her, and Phelan doesn't, which is kind of cool, right? She kind of comes off to me as one of those characters, kind of like Nikita, where you can just drop her in any team. And while it's good if you have support, for example, she really kind of wants to be paired with Basti, because Basti, just corrosion tiles, she buffs corrosion damage, she does a lot of things that Phelan wants. You could do that, but you can also kind of get away with not doing it. Like I said, just like Nikita, right? Nikita obviously benefits from having Springfield in the team, but she doesn't absolutely hard require it, kind of like Tolo does. Oh, the game's dying. The game really, oh my God, it's choking to death. It cannot load. It just cannot load new areas at the same time. Oh, speaking of Nikita, the doggo. And then whatever this is supposed to be. I don't know if this was supposed to be it's like an inside joke or something. The big capsule in the collapse field. In terms of side contact, I think she has to come after Lou, but the dartboard. Paul, do you think that's because of story? Like I said, we talk about like, oh, there's story reasons, like this character can't come before or after this event, and it's like, I mean, currently Basti just proved that wrong again for like the 8th time. The devs just kind of release shit however they feel like, which is, you know, kind of, it's kind of disorienting in the story, but it's still not the end of the world. I don't know if they would release her early, just because I'd like it if they released her early, especially now that Basti's out, because they, like I said, Basti and Phelan pair together really well. But it would be interesting in the power spike. That's why I wonder if they'll do it, because like I said, Klukai still hasn't even gotten her key yet. So if they were to drop Phelan on EN servers, I feel like she would just like slingshot past Klukai in the damage charts for Gunsmoke and for everything, and it would get kind of, it would be interesting. People would be I don't know how they'd feel about that. Dutch and friends meet Lou before G41. I mean, yeah, but like I said, they kind of don't care about the story pacing, right? Like, for example, you know, Basti obviously didn't, all the stuff they were talking about in the current Basti event, that hasn't happened yet, like, because that all happens during Dawnforger, which we have not done. So, you know, at this point, anything is possible, but I'm really excited with Phelan. The only thing I'm a little worried about still is that the power creep in this game is getting kind of out of control, right? Like, so she doesn't power creep OTS 14 or the other Groza that we're getting in the future, which is like kind of expected because that character was so bonkers, bananas, crazy that like I don't even know how you power creep her. But I mean, you could, and that would be even more concerning. But the fact that we just keep getting like these characters that are just like miles strong. Like, for example, I saw Segment 0 Fetusa versus, or sorry, Segment 1 Fetusa versus Phelan Segment 0, and Phelan was like outputting double the damage at Segment 0 versus Fetusa. Now, once again, these are all, you take all these with a grain of salt, because you're not sure if, you know, the people were doing some goofy shit during the runs, but like, assuming that these are like even kind of accurate, the fact that you have a character that is, you know, what is that, 8 months for CN side? When did Fetusa, I don't know, it's not important when they came out, but we're not even a year. It definitely has not been a year, and the average unit's lifespan now before getting like significantly power creeped is less than a year, and that is just, I don't know, that's kind of a wild ride. That, you know, it's weird too, because certain people get all the things made for them. They get mod keys, they get units to support, they get team building options, and other characters kind of get nothing. they get multiple mod keys to do what kind of should have been base. So it's really weird. You know, the power creep is like so crazy that you have characters that are just like leapfrogging other characters, and then at the same time, it's kind of up to the devs whether your favorite character is going to be remaining relevant, or even not your favorite character, just the new character, right? Anytime a new character comes out, you're now kind of getting in that awkward spot of like, do you really want to, you know, really invest in maxing this character out if they're just going to be, you know, ditched in 6 months, right? For example, Paul Florence here. Shouldn't say poor Florence, she's an evil person, but evil Florence here, you know, she's been struggling. She's been real struggling, even on CN side. They just kind of don't, you know, they just, I don't know, it's like some units just kind of get abandoned. So they could release her early and nerf her. I don't know about that. I don't think they've really ever nerfed any character. With the next major, they should be in a position where they never again have to do the dartboard, but it's Mika. Ooh. I don't think so, Vega. Because remember, we had a couple units that came after the next major that have been moved before the major. So now if they want to continue the 1 major, 2 minor patches, or 3 on CN side, I think it's 3, they're going to have to do some goofy shifting. And it's, I don't know. Once again, also, you know, we raise the question of like, are we ever catching up to CN side? I don't know. let's get to gameplay. I'm just yapping here. You know, we've talked about these issues a dozen times. You know, we can only just wait and see. I'm just excited that Phelan is cracked as fuck, because, you know, power creep is never a good thing unless it's your favorite character, and then it's a-okay, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm totally okay with it if it's Phelan. I'm drinking my making some weird noises, but have a Baja Blast here today. You know, we're really gaming. For those of you who have not done the Basti event, I highly recommend you do it. This event is probably one of my favorite events, especially for a non-major. This story was wild. It was so funny, dude. It was good times to be had all around. They did such a great job in writing. I wish that this level of writing was consistent for all the events, and I also wish, like, to be honest, that this was the quality of writing that GFL1's ending had. Maybe it was because this one was a little more of a lighthearted event. They had a little more room for comedy. They didn't have to be so serious. Like, Fetusa and Deshevia just being complete morons the whole time was just awesome, dude. So yeah, I did this story because I knew it was going to be good because I had heard things about it, and this is, you know, A+++, would recommend. So, but I won't cover it just yet. Well, like I said, it's still kind of early in the event cycle. I won't spoil anything, but, you know, come next week or next time, we're going to talk about it, and you have been warned. Okay, so for Gunsmoke gun line today, so for those of you who don't know, firepower overmatch is busted. It is ridiculous. This team here, so this is like the fire water team I've been using. This team normally can't clear. It usually ends up about, like, I think 15-ish% short, depending on the daily buffs. You put this buff on them, they clear in 4 turns. It's actually wild. Let's do a meme run real quick. Let's just do a meme run. For those of you who are not aware of how ridiculous this is, let's borrow a Lewis. I was also able to do it on the alt account that we have, that I got that segment 6 Alva. It was literally just Alva and a borrowed Voimastina, and they killed the boss, I think, in like 6.5 turns or something. But this buff is just so silly. It's just so much damage. It is so much damage. So this is what I have been doing. Yeah, Chongju actually can go there. And like this, actually. Good. Fine. We just need Lewis to put the tin soldiers on them. The numbers get so big. So what the buff does, for those of you who are not in the know, or maybe, I don't know, maybe people who don't do Gunsmoke watch this channel, but if you don't know, what this buff does is it gives you 10 stacks of damage dealt 8%. Crit, mostly this is the big one, crit damage by 5%, and it goes up to 50 stacks. So if you do math, this is a lot of extra damage. As long as you don't move, this is the requirement. For every mobility spent, you lose a stack. So it's easy. Just don't move. The only person I'm gonna move Chongju up 1 tile so that she gets targeted for the near. That's it. That's the strategy. Everyone else is just gonna stand still and just wail on the boss. Klukai is all you need. Miko will make sure of it. I don't know, man. They have been doing a very good job of making sure that Klukai just never gets power creep, but eventually they're gonna have, I don't know, I guess they just have to release Klukai version 2.0, right? Like make a Klukai alt or something. Because unless they start doing things like 3 mod keys in 2 years from now, not even, like in another 6 months from now, Klukai is gonna be power crept just by raw damage, because there's just no way that they can sustain the release schedule that they're doing and like keep it consistent. The reason I did Lewis early was because I wanted to knock 2 stacks off of the boss buff. What is it called? Field enhancement. Weirdly enough, since this does 2 instances of damage, because it does 1 instance and then deals fixed damage, Don't know why it is considered a separate instance, but unless there's a common key that also affects it, or a fixed key. No. Yeah, I'm not really sure why, but it knocks 2 stacks off. And then when the tin soldiers fire, it also knocks another stack off. So we will just continue the turn. It should default to her for the near buff where she was. I thought that might be the case, but I wasn't gonna risk it. It's only 1 stack. It's not the end of the world. Because it's a 4-way tie, and I could never remember the priority for which one of these tiles gets the tiebreaker. This is the turn when the damage starts to get kind of bananas. So let's do... Oh, hold up. Always gotta have her go first. Florence is one of my door meta roles. Still haven't used her. Oh, it's so sad. She's not, like I said, when we originally talked about her, or Lisa and I did when she originally came out, she's not a bad unit. Like how she's designed, they just, as usual, like messed up the numbers, and then power creep got even more insane. Like she got released right at that sweet spot where it was like they were just starting the power creep ramp. Like her and Lind were like right before the big power creep pushes that happened. And then pretty much everything after Voimastina has just been just crazy. It's just like we're living on another planet. Right. How big is this one gonna hit? This one's not gonna hit as hard as it will on turn 4, but. Oh my god, 500,000 damage! It says, I never thought that Fetusa Sweeper and Dush would be so entertaining, but they kind of stole the show from Basti. Dude, they did such a good job with the Fetusa Sweeper Dush like dynamic. I don't know why, they just nailed it. Like I said, they did a good job with Basti and Phelan as well, but it was extra silly with like I said, Deshevia and Fetusa / Sweeper. They should increase the amount of expansion keys they're releasing. There are a lot of dolls struggling. See, that was something I had kind of mentioned before. I agree with you. They definitely need to help out a lot of units. But at the same time, we're almost at the point now where, you know, is that even reasonable? Right? Like, there's so many units that it's like you almost just need like a soft reset. And in addition to that, because it's a gacha game and they make money off selling new stuff as opposed, well, this is the industry standard. The industry standard is to always make money off the new stuff versus the old stuff, which, you know, to me, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I feel like if you balance the game right and you did a good job, like, for example, why wouldn't you want someone to get segment 6 Vector, even if she's an old unit, right? Like, as long as people feel that there's value in characters and get multiple segments and continue to spend on the game, I don't see how that's a negative for everyone. Okay, so this is the crazy turn, right? We're gonna do 7 million damage in one turn. We might miss it by just a teeny bit. This sometimes is a little close, but we're gonna do a lot of damage this turn. Just look at the numbers that are gonna happen. We're not even at max stacks yet. We have one more turn to get max stacks. It's gonna get wild. But yeah, I wish they would put the expansion keys to buff units that are like important parts of the team, right? But they obviously have kind of moved away from that because it feels really bad that they've released characters that are so similar. Like, to be honest, like, I like Basti, but she's very similar in what she does to Mishti. And it feels kind of bad to release a unit like that essentially is a replacement for a unit that already exists. You know, it's like, you know, I know Mishi already had a key and everything, but he's just melting, dude. He's just melting. Look at this 500,000. Look at this. Okay, here we go. So it's gonna do 2 tin soldier shots first, and then it's gonna do the alt. Look at this. 500,000, or 400,000. 900,000. Okay, so we did miss it. We missed it by a teeny tiny bit. I have done it on the end of turn 4 there, but here. Who wants to be the hero? Springfield, can you be the hero? 200,000. Rip. Yeah, this is such a silly buff. This worked with so many teams. You can do like meme runs. It's actually a lot of fun. I was talking with Paul about this. I'm like, this is a cool buff because it lets you kind of do whatever you want. You get to experiment with teams. You know, maybe, you know, obviously you don't want a buff like this for every single day of Gunsmoke, but having a couple days every week where you can do just a silly team combo like this and, you know, see big number go up. And, you know, this is a competent team, which is why the boss died, you know, on turn 4/5. But you can even just sub in like silly nonsense. Like I think Paul did like, was it just Florence and Nikita, like just those two, and you know, you can get a kill. It's a lot of fun. It really is finally a buff where it's like, as long as you're not completely brain dead or like do something incredibly wrong, like I don't know, run around the boss in circles. It really is a play what you feel like buff. You know, and it's fun to have a break like that from the stressful tryharding, which we're about to do now. So this is my corrosion team. This team is like edging. It is edging getting the kill, depending on the buffs for the day. I think we're gonna, and I think I'm almost like positive we're gonna get a kill because today is Chain Acid Swamp, and this one's just a little stronger than, for example, this one. Because this one only affects the Sentinels, and this one affects Mishti and Basti as well. So depending on the buff, this team is like right on the edge of getting the clear. Like, I don't think you could really trim much more out of this team if you wanted to like try and min-max. Which is... It's weird that you need this much investment to get a kill. I mean, it's I guess it's not weird. It's just different than previously. Previously, if you had 2 segment 6s, you were probably gonna get a kill. If you borrowed a segment 6 and you had a competent team, you could probably get a kill with like previous bosses. Not so much anymore. This boss and the last boss even really has started to become a very strong gear check. And the reason I borrow a Klukai in this team is because obviously I don't have my own Klukai, and her plus Lind, the synergy there gets me more value than if I borrowed a segment 6 Fetusa. And I have a segment 1 Fetusa, so like I'm like kind of splitting the difference between you know, totally missing out on all that damage from segment 6 Fetusa, because segment 6 Fetusa right now currently does do more than the Klukai. So, but I'm gonna have to sweat this a little bit, so I'll try and narrate what I'm doing here, because there are some like min maxes that are required to get a kill with this team. This is not a free kill, and to be honest, the only reason I think this is even possible is because I think this is Radical Inks Klukai, and he's a Chad, and he went and got the calibration 6 weapon. So this is like as stacked of a Klukai as you can get. This is like really pushing the numbers. So if you see people saying things like, "Oh yeah, dude, you go corrosion can kill with just 1 segment 6," you just call them out, because they're probably lying to you, or they have some really janky stuff going on. 'Cause I've been seeing a lot of people talk about their clears and stuff for especially this Gunsmoke boss, because the HP inflation of this Gunsmoke boss is like so huge compared to previous bosses. I think the last one was 11 million, or is it 13? I think it was 13 million. But this one's 17 million. And while he does have some, like, you know, things that help increase your damage to make the difference up, you know, people are starting to feel the hurt, right? Like, and because we're missing a bunch of units and buffs that the CN side kind of had when we were doing this boss, these are definitely not freebie kills. So that was my little spiel. Okay. I need Lind back here because she needs to get hit with the first root. And then Fetusa can go here. There we go. So the first turn on this team is kind of a wash, right? Like, the alternate way of doing turn 1 is you have Mishti in Lin's spot here so that Mishti can knock off 2 stacks right away. The problem with that is you delay Lind getting the 5% attack up buff from remote exemption. You delay this multiple turns, and so she doesn't end up with 3 stacks. I want to say until turn 6 if you do it that way. And the damage you make up on turn 1 by knocking 2 stacks off immediately with Mishti versus the amount of damage you lose over the course of the fight by not having Lin maxed out on this right away actually is in favor of this strat. So, classic opener. We're just going to have some random garbage go down. Doesn't really matter what. It is a little sad because Klukai is going to have to put her dot up by ulting, and the boss is going to have all 4 stacks of the damage resistance on him, and it's going to kind of hit like a wet noodle. But like I said, this first turn is just kind of a wash. Fetusa can come over to here. If you really, really wanted to min-max, you'd do that after Lin because you'd have the extra 15% from Radio Invitation, but I don't think it'll be that close. Vega says, my corrosion team has no problems on this boss, but the electric team with 2 V6s plus a V6 support struggles hard. And that's exactly how my experience with it. Even though the boss is weak to electric, I tried my electric team, which is just all segment like 1s and 2s. In fact, I only have segment 2 Lena. That's it. I have a segment 0 Jangyu and Andrus. Couldn't even come close. I want to say they were like 30% HP left on the boss. They were scoring lower than that water fire team that I showed you a few minutes ago. And I think that's a twofold problem of, one, this boss has a ridiculous amount of stability that you got to break through before you can start doing damage with lava. And the electric team is just in a really awkward spot because they still don't really have a 5th member. You know, it's like, you can kind of just throw in whoever, like a Voimastina or maybe like a really cracked Yuhi or something. But it's Struggle City. I'm double checking the stream here. It actually is still complaining. And I'm seeing something in my recording software that's not looking great. If the stream is really choppy or something, guys, let me know. Like I said, I'm not sure how much I can do about it because of the weather, but we'll try. Maybe I can restart the stream and, you know, see if we fix it. So anyway, by Lind ulting there, it brings it down to 3 stacks. This allows Fetusa to go immediately and get in position. And now when we ult, we'll knock off the last stack and we'll be able to, like I said, get the rooted debuff on Fetusa. But before we do that, we have to have the 2 supports go, because even though we're kind of wasting a little bit of damage hitting this buff, we want to strip as much stability off the boss to get him as close to a stability break before Lind goes. And if we get lucky, which I think we're going to, although I don't know if he got the right debuff. There's a little bit of RNG when using Lind on which one of these debuffs she applies, but you are looking for stability loss too. But when she ults, she's not going to break it on the first action, but she'll break it on the second. Part of the reason also we had Fetusa go is because we need this extra stability. So now when we hit him and it breaks, it's going to be a collapse, so this will not get reduced. So this will do full damage. But these are like the little min-maxes you need to do. And then obviously when Klukai goes, now she's going to do full damage too. These are like the little min-maxes you need to do when you're on the edge. Paul says you kind of need a segment 6 Mosin for electric to work, so she gets her support attacks while the boss has stability. It's super bricked without that. That definitely makes sense. I've seen people getting clears with Mosin, and she's been doing like way more damage than she has any business to. But yes, they're probably all segment 6, which is like... That's fine for whales, because, well... It's fine for whales because they probably lost a lot of 50-50s on their way to, you know, gearing out their account. But on the same hand, I guess free-to-play players or just more casual players who don't spend a lot could have also selected her, but that's a really weird... Like, I don't know what universe you tell someone to put Mosin as the targeted, like, 50-50 standard character, right? Like, you obviously need Tolo and Chongju. That's a lot of 50-50 losses and stuff. Or wins, I guess. And then after that, up until right now, it was like Peritia was kind of the next good choice because Corrosion still needed Peritia up until Fetusa. So it's like, I guess now people could start getting segments for Mosin, but there's no way you had all that stuff and then still had segment 6 Mosin unless you were like not whaling. That's just unusual. This turn is nothing fancy. We just stop talking and we start doing. The reason Fetusa got hit with the Nier is because her support attacks, same thing as with Lewis in the last run, they do 2 instances of damage, which knocks 2 stacks off. So even though she's only going to do 2 supports, she's actually going to remove all the stacks. So right off the bat, as fast as possible into the turn, we've already removed all the stacks. And Fetusa benefits a lot from the extra attack up. And as you'll see, there's only going to be one turn where she's really bricked and has to do like a basic attack because she can't move, so she can't do her dash now. But with creative engineering, we're going to be able to get around that. And then I guess we have Klukai go. Pegasus whaling is hard when there's so many cuties coming up. Ain't that the truth? There's a lot of cool characters on the docket. I think the only one I'm not excited for is Shene, and then there's probably one other one I don't care about. Oh yeah, Welrod. I'm not really wild about Welrod. This is the turn, and this has a lot more to do with the rotation of your team. But this turn for my team, he's going to be in Stability Break. On turn 7, which was normally when you double alt, he won't be. So you'll see that this actually will do more damage on this turn than on turn 7, which is why we're going to double alt on this turn. Even though he only has 1 stack of vulnerability here, and I only have 2 stacks of attack up, or whatever it's called. Where is it? Remote exemption. Even though I'm only at 2 out of 3 on this, and the boss is only at 1 stack of he's at 1 stack of self-doubt and 2 stacks of process overload. Although he's still 0 defense. You'll see that this is going to hit a lot harder than later on in the fight when we have all the buffs up, just because he's going to be in stability later on in the fight. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Where is it? No. Okay, I did find this clip. Who was it that suggested we do this for Fetusa's ult? Someone had suggested this last stream. So yeah, 503 was the final hit, and then the second instance of damage was 173. So yeah, we did find that clip. Got some good meme clips for the stream here. But yeah, 500 and 3,000 was how much that alt hit for, so we'll just compare that to later on to prove to you that I'm not making that up. And now we're just back to the normal rotation. Lind is at 3 stacks now, so we can move her out of the far spot, and we're actually going to give it to MHT. Just for kind of min-max, like, tryhardness. There's, you know, she's going to get, like, 1 stack of it, so it's, like, going to make, like, no difference, but, you know, why not? Don't... I said, when you're this close to not getting a kill, or normally when I'm this close to not getting a kill, you know, you really pull out the min-max. Can't leave any damage on the table. If the next upcoming characters are K98, Kuro, or MDR, Star, and AK-12 and CN, it's going to hurt. The good news is, Pega we are not catching up anytime soon, so you'll have time to save. But I agree with you. There is, like... You forgot Agent, too. You know, she was teased as well. If they start dropping some of the big name heavy hitters, like, it's gonna get spicy. It's gonna get spicy for the wallets. I weep for the wallets. This turn, because she doesn't have any stacks and we can't move, we're gonna ult again. This is just literally to make a corrosion damage to benefit from the buffs. That's the only the ult is gonna do. Well, I'll show you here, but the ult does exactly the same amount of damage as the dash at basic. So the dash does 90 base on normal turns, and then the dash and the ult with no stacks of Blade Residence also does 90. So we just ulted there essentially just to get corrosion damage on, because the only other option we have is this, and this is physical damage, which does not benefit from the team's buffs. And also I missed do a tile. Klukai is not on a corrosion tile because I was not paying attention, so the min-max is ruined. And Lind, actually. All I had to do last turn to fix that was put the mines here. That was all I had to do. Or actually, technically, if you really wanted to get it perfect, you'd put it right there. That's the real spot the mines are supposed to go, but I goofed. I was too busy talking instead of gaming. And because of that, they did not start their turn on the tile, which does not benefit them, and I forgot exactly what they get if they start on it. Oh, they get Insignia of Camaraderie and attack up, but it's for 2 turns, so actually they didn't lose anything. I lied. I made it all up. The sources, I made it up. Fetusa is... So once again, normally you would overwrite Trap into Dual Wing Descent, but we're gonna ult just to once again get corrosion damage to benefit the buffs, and then the beginning of next turn we're gonna overwrite Trap immediately before anything goes, and we'll see that way we're only ever gonna have to do one basic attack using this method. So we're kind of not gonna lose any damage by having her not being able to dash. We're gonna lose like literally 1 attack's worth of damage, which is a small price to pay, considering a good chunk of her damage comes from all her support attacks, and they are all benefiting from the 3 stacks of remote exemption right now. And that also did the stability damage we needed so that Klukai can go. And this way she doesn't hit stability and does Bunga Bunga damage. You know, Pega, I was thinking about what we were just talking about. In addition to not only have so many of those characters coming up, like we were talking about earlier in the stream, how some characters need expansion keys, I wonder if they're going to do more upgrades and or like alternate versions of characters, right? We already have OTS 14, which is an alternate form of Groza. I wonder if they're just going to start doing that for some of like the, like think like the really popular characters that have kind of been sidelined, like Macchiato, Leva really kind of as well, kind of needs some help. Lena for sure. Lena's a disaster. I wonder if we're going to see like alternate forms of them or upgrades to 4-star units, right? You know, the rest of the Elmo team could get a 5-star upgrade like Nemesis did. That would be kind of cool. So turn 6 here, once again, the beginning of this turn we have to overwrite Trap before any attacks go off, so that way she can still gain Confectance from the support attacks for the turn. And then this way the rotation doesn't get messed up. So yeah, doing it this way just really min-max the DPS out of Fetusa. This might not be worth doing with high segment Fetusa if you've got a better target to slap here. Because a higher segment Fetusa, she gets more damage on dual wing descent, but even then I think you still do it because I don't know who else you give this buff to, because Klukai can never take it. On this boss, Klukai can never take the root. And unless you're running like a segment 6 Basti or Mishti, like I don't know if giving them the buff's even worth your time. It's just like too much damage you missed out on. Can end that turn. And zoom zoom one more time. We're actually a little behind. I wonder if I was not paying attention and I skipped something. Okay, maybe we're not. Maybe I imagined it. I didn't realize that Lind was gonna lock in right there. I think we're still good. Usually if he's under like 15% at this point. Might be close though. Second mine. Have Lind go. I think this is a kill with both zooms, but you know, we're gonna do Fetusa first, just because I want to play the storm is approaching again. Also, you'll see the number this time is less than 503,000. Where's the? I should hold up. Let me get the full experience here. Can we get battle performance and don't skip? Continue. All right, here we go. Get the full. Let's get the full effect.
I am the storm that is approaching.
See, 471. And then Klukai gets to get the finishing blow. I love that clip. The chair just standing there in the middle of the storms is completely unfazed. So yeah, I said on bad days, you still have to zoom one more time with Klukai, and then like I still have to like pray that the dot tick kills the boss. Sometimes it gets really dicey, but on days like this, when the buff is corrosion damage for everyone, and you run a full corrosion team, it's beautiful. There's the damage chart for anyone who cares. Like I said, this is wild. This is a segment 1 Fetusa almost beating out a segment 6 Lind. This is crazy. Like this is a little bit misleading because once again, a bunch of Klukai's damage is because of Lind, and then in addition to that, Lind and Fetusa both had the buff, and Klukai didn't have the buff at all. But like this is like, you know, one segment versus 6 and 6, like, you know, and like I said, this holds up true on the CN side as well. Like I said, if this chart had segment 0 Phelan in it, she would probably be like right here underneath Klukai, but above Lind. I don't know, man. Game balance in the future is going to be weird. And then, as we found out last time, a segment 6 Basti also does like as much damage as Lind, which is that's weird. That's weird. Dude, did we actually finish in less than an hour tonight, even with all my yapping? Guys, I think this is a new record. Oh, Paul has approved my suspicions of getting Fetusa shackled is always worth it. Because all her damage is the ult and support attacks. I could see that. Unless, like I said, unless you had someone even better to shackle for near and far. But like I said, even that, I don't know who that would be. Segment 6 Bassi can beat Klukai depending on the team. Well, you know, but that's okay because Klukai's getting that 6-6 expansion key sometime. Soon. Coming soon. Well, guys, I didn't think we'd get done this early. I don't know what to do. Do we have any mini games? Oh, here we go. We'll do a memory puzzle. We'll do a memory puzzle as we end the stream here. Can I talk and do a memory puzzle? Oh, that's 1 1 1 and 1 1 1. No. Is it that? There's no. Oh, I forgot. I'm such a dummy. That's the vector. That's the Michi. Oh, dude. I'm a sham, dude. Sometimes I get it and I just lock in and I just get them all, but not today. Well, guys, I think we're done here. You know, we have to wait for the challenge modes to open up because I think only the first one's open today, or maybe we're on second one now, but you know, we can't have too much fun in one day. Gunsmoke was, you know, that was it. Should we gamble? Oh, you know what? Let's actually gamble because I am one. This is, bro. I'm just gonna build pity, bro. This is how you do it, right? So I'm one away from this exchange, which I'm spending 10 to get 3 back, that's not quote value. spending more to get less back that's not how discounts work. But bro, we're building pity. The question is, what do we want to build pity on? Do we want to try and get a segment 1 Basti, or really try and Lind max? I think we try and just see if we get lucky and get a Basti, because I think we're like on a brand new 50-50, right? Oh yeah, dude, we're brand new 50-50. All right, here we go. One 10 pull. Let's just one. What's the worst that could happen? Here we go. I hit my rebate. My government sponsored rebate. Now it didn't light up. But what about the door? Is the door gold? No, he didn't get lucky. Let's see what we got. You got a 4-star? I mean, I know we got a 4-star, but like which 4-star? Ew, gross. Ooh, 2 of them. Ooh. The refund. Now that's value. We spent 10 to get 3 and to get 2 more. That's 5. That's a 50% rebate. I'm talking about, guys. That's how. Oh, and look at this. The gamer number. The gamer number. Hell yeah, Pega. Worth it. Oh, the next one was the 5-star? Okay, well, we'll save the next one's 5-star for whoever we're getting next, because there's assuming they don't throw another dart at the dartboard, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Dawnforger next, and it will be Lorelei, and I will probably be going to segment 2 to get the silly universal damage up buff that she gives. And that's probably going to be painful, because now, like I said, now I got to be very careful. Right now we're like I said, we're in high alert mode, because any day the devs could just wake up and be like, okay, fail into global, let's do it. And I have to be cautious, because I'm not exactly at a good guarantee, right? 300 here. Oops, not this. Where is it? This one? 300 and 250. This puts me at like 575. Okay, and I want to say that puts me like around a 50% chance overall of getting to segment 6. Now, this is a little misleading, because I have a secret weapon, and I also have a credit card because I'm a grown-ass man. But you got to be a little careful, Because of this refund banner, though, I'm almost positive it's going to be Dawn Forger next, though. Because I would assume they're giving all these rebate coupons for this time period. This, to me, screams two-part event. Because it's a month and a half long, which is 6 weeks. This screams two-part event, which screams major event, which screams Dawn Forger. Because obviously that's the next one. So I highly doubt we'll get any surprises between now and then. But, the bigger question is if I do bad to get Lorelei, like if it goes really badly like it did for Fetusa, I'm going to be in a spicy situation if they try and jump the line with Phelan. So, thank you guys for coming to the stream. I think I might be putting out, this is kind of a question, but it's kind of not a question because I'm just going to do it anyway. I've been kind of thinking about doing like a mid-year, I don't want to call it a meta wrap-up, because like, it's kind of not, but the last video I released, I haven't been releasing videos, like actual normal videos, in a long time, as you've noticed. And the last one that I kind of did that was like a guide was kind of like that new player starter guide, and I kind of want to do like a follow-up to that 6 months later, because weirdly enough, things have changed pretty significantly. I think the core of that guide is still relevant, but I feel like there needs to be a big asterisk on some of the suggestions I had made for like teams to focus on. So I think I might do a mid-year wrap-up. The rebate is for 2 events, and it mentions a special banner. I'm thinking about this, Paul. Yeah, I mean, that's a major, right? A major is 2 small events together, and a special banner. The special banner might be that weird collab that they've been doing with like the Voimastina costume. I don't know if there's a character coming with that. It doesn't actually, I don't even remember it saying something about, did you hallucinate that or did I? Targeted military upgrade and custom procurement. Isn't that just character, weapon, and standard? Right? So targeted is the character, military is the weapon, custom procurement is the... Ooh, this is... Unless that's a translation error, which, we don't ever have those in this game, but sometimes they just slip through every now and then. You get a mistranslation. They might mean standard, but we'll see. You're right. It could be custom. It might be that, oh, you know what? It could be one of those. Yeah, it could be exactly, Pega. It could be one of those choose the doll banners, which we're definitely in need of because, like I said, on my alt account, I started that back in December. And I've been trying to get a Segment 1 Springfield for that account. I just can't because Springfield hasn't rerun since literally like November or something. So they definitely are due for the pick your own character stuff. Okay. I've hit my government mandated 1 hour. Technically we're at 59 minutes, so I'm gonna stall here for 1 more minute so I can say I went the full hour. Some days I just yap so much it takes 2.5 hours, but oh yeah, Pega Xiaomi. Woo! That brings me back. You remember? I don't even know what she does anymore. I don't know. She does like ice damage and like shields or something. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys all for joining me. If you have any comments or anything, you can leave them in the video stream or hit me up. And we will see you guys. I don't know if we're gonna do a stream next week because don't think anything is gonna happen. They're probably gonna do the announcement for Dawn Trail, wrong game, for Dawn Forger, and I think we'll just reconvene at Dawn Forger, and then we'll do some gambling for Lorelei. I don't really think if something major comes up, like I don't know if the world blows up or something, I'll do an apocalypse stream next week. But if not, I'll see you guys for Dawn Forger and Lorelei, and I hope you guys have good luck with your Gunsmoke runs. Make sure you abuse that overpowered firepower, whatever it's called. Abuse it. Send me your meme screenshots. Send me your meme teams. I want to see them. Okay, dudes. Bye-bye. Can I? Oh, I'm gonna do the storm as a pro. One more time. He's approaching. This is like so hype now. This chair. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.